Hey everyone, welcome to Zealots. I'm Forrest.
Nah, I've got to sneeze, but I can't right now. It's coming. I just don't know when. What's up, guys? It's Major.
And I'm Robbie.
And today we're going to talk about the second episode of Secret Invasion. Premiered yesterday. And apparently Fury got fired.
Well, some more details about what's going on with the Skrull.
We're gonna break this whole episode down, but first, I just want to talk about overall thoughts. What do you guys think? Because dude, I was not looking forward to watching this. Like, I went to Disney Plus. I clicked on Disney Plus. I went to Secret Invasion, and then I got on Twitter for 30 minutes. I got on Twitter and just scrolled through Twitter, just scrolling,
with Secret Invasion right there, ready to go.
Rather than clicking play to watch Secret Invasion, because I did not want none. Look,
but
I had
what
6 bones in my body.
Zero
of them.
That episode that Twitter put out for free to everybody.
For Silo. Man, right? That's why I really need.
That was a good play by Apple there.
Very smart.
Man, because I got into it and I never would have heard of that series because I don't have Apple TV.
Ooh, what's Silo about?
It's the latest thing, dude. I'm telling
you, it's got some Lost vibes.
It's the new Lost. It's the new Lost.
Kind of, but better.
No, that's Severance. That's the new Lost. Silo is a little different. But like, dude, Netflix better watch themselves with this damn password sharing, like lockdown. Like, Netflix is over. Apple TV is just like what HBO used to be. Like 10 years ago, just hit after hit after hit. Like, that's what Apple TV is doing.
Maybe I'll put that money from HBO into Apple TV.
Well, they had a few duds, I think, before they first started. Like the morning show, I don't think was very good. There was a show called.
That's right. The Tom Hanks stuff.
Hey, you can watch the first episode of Silo for free on Twitter.
The Jason Momoa show only lasted 2 seasons, I think. Right? Even had what's his name, Dave Bautista in it.
Maybe. And then I call Apple TV just like looked at like Tucker Carlson and they were like, wait, he went from 3.5 million views to 120 million impressions. Maybe we should put out an episode on Twitter. Yeah, maybe we should put out an episode on Twitter. Hey guys, should Zealots put out our podcast on Twitter? What do you guys think?
I thought we were
maybe if Elon could like press the scales on the algorithm, that'd be great.
Oh yeah, I think were we putting the links to them, but not the actual like audio right there on Twitter.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just the links. We should just go ahead and just like start up a Twitter space. Although it's just like from your cell phone and not to use like professional recording equipment, for quality.
Well, you got Twitter.com on your computer.
No, Twitter Space doesn't work on Twitter.com.
Oh,
Twitter Space is only a mobile thing. Yeah, it's
I didn't know that actually.
Yeah, it's super weird. Yeah, because over at Roots Research, my stock Discord and research podcast, right? We tried to do a Twitter live space, and then turns out it's only on your cell phones. And we're like, well, this is poor quality. We're not gonna do this. We're gonna pivot. But yeah, interesting. Speaking of pivoting, I have to pivot my feelings on this episode because this was a straight banger. I thought this was some of the best Marvel television I've seen in a long time.
It was a better episode than the last one.
Yes.
Like the intro definitely gave us a lot more exposition about.
Maybe that's why I wasn't looking forward to it as much.
So your expectations are already low, and then
they raised them there.
Do you remember 2 years ago? I know, dude, it's so hard to remember. You have to remember. You go back because there was a time on this podcast where we would like stay up all night to watch the next episode of whatever television show that drops at like 12:05 a.m. in the morning, right? Or like I would wake up like an hour early before work just to make sure I watch like the most recent episode so there's no spoilers or anything, right? And now it's just like we're watching the episode like an hour before the podcast, and we're only watching because we have a podcast, right? But this episode truly has me like, ooh, I'm back on board, right? Next episode, there's episode 3. There's only 6 total. So if they can keep this up, then I'm back. Which I think, just if anything, affirms my idea that there's not so much superhero fatigue as there is bad movie fatigue. Like, think about it. We're goddamn American. We love superheroes. We love heroes. We have Independence Day, Memorial Day, Veterans Day. Dude, we idolize heroes. We love.
Well, they're going for.
There's no way we have fatigue.
They're going for quantity over quality lately.
Yeah, and they're going for shitty over
Well,
reality.
and plus, when you got to put out a bunch of episodes instead of just like one big good movie.
But here's my thing: you're Disney, dude. You're a multi-billion-dollar company. You can't find the quality or talent out there. Like, I'm sorry, you bought Lucasfilms. There's let's see, the mid 70s, right? 76 through 2020, right? There's 40 years of fan fiction out there. You couldn't find a fucking script better than Force Awakens, better than Rise of Skywalker. Anyway,
Like they're
you know what I'm saying? No, you know what I'm saying?
Run out
Like
of-
the talent's out there. It's not that hard. It's not that hard
That's
to
what
make
makes
it
me
up.
wonder if they're running out of ideas when they were doing so many remakes.
Which blows my mind because there's like 1,000 years of comic books. Like there's no way they should be running out of ideas, right? But like here's this. You talk about comic books. This came out recently. The writers for Secret Invasion were told not to read the Secret Invasion comic books.
Is that why there's no Avengers in it?
That's why there's no Avengers in it.
What?
Right? It's like we're not gonna have Avengers in it.
Yeah, I haven't
So
read them.
don't
So
read the comic because just do your own thing.
Well,
Right? Is that adaptation of the source material? No. We've never read the goddamn source material. Get the fuck out of here. You know, I've never read never mind. I was gonna say something. I was gonna get canceled real fast. No,
yeah, I didn't really read a whole lot of comics.
I was gonna say I've never read the
manga
Torah,
side.
but I have read the Old Testament. I was like, I've never read the Torah. I'm not making inferences over here, but I have read the Old Testament.
Well, yeah, I mean, the ratings for this show have been very low, I think. So I'm wondering if like the Marvel TV shows are on their way out because I think there's been more bad than good.
Shout out to James Gunn about to start a 10-year a new 10-year chapter in DC superhero movies when the DC superhero genre is out the goddamn door.
Yeah. Well,
That sucks, dude. Like imagine coming out with a new bike right before scooter or e-scooters like took place. Or I don't know. Like imagine coming out with like a new what do you ride on the horses? You put not buggies, but
carriage.
no, like the individual, the straddles, or you put it on the horse's back and you ride it. God,
Saddle?
Yeah, saddle. God, that's like I know that term. It's a stock day train. I'm just had a huge brain fart there, right? Like imagine coming out with like a state-of-the-art saddle, and then Henry Ford comes out with like the Model T. You're just like, damn it! Like this is such a good idea, but too late.
Yeah, but James Gunn can make R-rated comic book movies now, so he's not going to be.
Good point.
But then again, I think Marvel's doing Deadpool 3. That's supposed to be rated R, so
I
think Marvel's going to beat them. Although Suicide Squad.
You know what Marvel should do? Real balls. Marvel should take Deadpool 3, right? And you know how there's like Kevin from She-Hulk, in like that writer's room? If Marvel, like Disney's share price is plummeting, right? They've lost over, it turns out, new article came out, they've lost over $900 million in the last 8 movies they've released, which is atrocious. So it'd be big balls energy if they released Deadpool 3 and Deadpool went through, killed Kevin, killed the whole writer's room, and just eliminated wokeness from Marvel. And then like the last season, looked at the camera, was like,
and it was all Kevin.
yeah, it was like Phase 5's gonna be way different. We promise, guys. Penises and fucking unicorns forever and ever. And then just like cuts to black and just credits. Like that's such a dramatic, hard line move. But that's the only way you get everybody back in the audience. Like it's the only way you get everyone back in the seats.
Yeah,
It'd be kind of funny to do it.
You say, guys, we fucked up so bad. Let me tell you this, like, are you even interested in finding out, like, watching, like, if the Fantastic Four was coming out tomorrow, would you have bought tickets already? I'm not excited for anything the MCU has to offer right now, except for Deadpool 3. And that's because I'm
I do like that. Yeah, I do like Deadpool.
I think
would
the last
like to make sexual relations with that man.
I'm trying to think what else is coming out this year from Marvel besides the Marvels.
Blue Beetle?
That's DC. So yeah, and probably give me another bomb for DC.
What about Aquaman 2?
That's also DC. I said from Marvel. So.
Oh gosh, I hope nothing. I know Avatar 4 is coming out in 2031. If that matters.
Damn.
Just
I
8
might
years
be
away.
dead by then.
Yeah,
So,
get the fuck out of here, James Cameron.
hey, if I won't be around, James Cameron won't be around. I'll tell you that
How
much.
many of those was he planning?
9 Avatar movies.
I thought it was
I just
5.
can't. I can't.
Let me ask
see
you
him
this:
making
do you
that
think
into
James
9
Cameron's going to
movies.
stop going to the Titanic after recent events? Do you think he's going to stop taking these deep submarine trips?
That one imploded.
Yeah, like, dude, how about this? So, research or the science now suggests that the submarine imploded an hour to 2 hours into its voyage, right? About an hour and a half in. So why were we led in the media for 4 days to believe that this might still be alive? What was this noise that they fucking heard on sonar? If they died instantly, then yeah, what is this banging noise, right? Like, this is such
yeah.
such bullshit distraction. Like, the fuck, it's so dumb. Anyway, not important. We're here to talk about secret invasion, not what the media is secretly invading in your home.
But yeah, then it started off with like a flashback to Fury kind of making a pact with the Skrulls that they'll find him a planet.
And I'm guessing the actor who plays Talos had in his contract that he's not gonna throw on makeup. Because like they were literally inside, safe from everyone, and he's just like, everyone's a Skrull, and he's like, I'm not putting on that. I'm not putting on that makeup. Like,
I like my face.
I wonder how long it takes them to make a Skrull. Because it's.
Oh,
I like that it's all. It does look like it's all.
It does look pretty
like
real. It
actual
looks
makeup,
prosthetic. Right? The few times we get close-ups, it does look legitimately like.
I think the only time they do their like changes with it is when they're like changing to human to Skrull and Skrull and back.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's probably easier to paint their hands green.
Yeah, right. You get a nice little close up of a green hand with a ring on it. But yeah, so I like how
that finger that was a confirmation.
Oh yeah, cutting off the finger, like, dude.
Well, that would be ahead a little bit, but
imagine if this. I was thinking about this. What if this actually happened? We're jumping ahead of ourselves. What if we actually had like a Skrull invasion? Like, what do you do? Is there like how would you determine if someone's a Skrull or not? Would you just slowly cut a centimeter of a finger off every time?
See if it turns green.
Just to see if it turns green? Yeah. Like, how do you determine?
But she had to do like an interrogation thing too.
Yeah, those were like the most pussified tortures before she got there. They're just slapping him around and ripping him in chains. Like, they would have already cut off his fingers.
That was the worst torture ever.
Just right away, she just got into it.
Yeah, but it like those guys are Russian. Like, they would have like literally like been burning him or like doing all that stuff before. Like, it's amazing. Like, she was the first one to think. Yeah.
Right.
Cutting a finger off is a big thing for Disney.
Here's my thing. Oh yeah, this show was a little graphic, right?
I wasn't expecting that. I was not expecting that.
It was a Skrull finger though.
But here's my thing. Yeah, I guess if it's an alien shape, looks like a human, I guess you could just still kill it, right? As long as the blood's not red, as we found out in Halo. But here's my thing. Terrible torture scene. She just says, "Tell me what I want to know. If you don't, I'm going to inject you with 160. I'm going to inject you with this thing. It's going to burn like 1,000 suns. 160
degrees. Yeah.
Which, for everyone who wants to know, is 320 degrees Fahrenheit, right? Ooh. But here's the thing. She doesn't say, like, if you tell me what I want to know, I'll give you the cure, right? She doesn't give an incentive for him to snitch, right? She's just like, hey, I'm going to set your blood on fire. And then he just like starts like snitching. It's like, why? She didn't present himself with a cure. There's no reason for you to
tell her what's gonna happen. You gotta keep burning, and she's
you can assume the Russians before her were causing pain, right? So the pain doesn't really matter. But now he's feeling pain. He's like, oh, I'll tell you, like, not to stop the pain. I'll just tell you because I'm in pain. It makes no sense. And then one extra thing, I know we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but she escapes. And like through this little
ask
where
the escape hatch is,
and like literally they come to rescue him, and he should have been like, yeah, she's literally like 3 feet away. She's out of shape.
You look down and you see this big fat white ass waddling through a 2x2 tunnel. Dude, that's not
I think I missed that part. They did see it.
She didn't close the door behind her either.
No,
I didn't notice they saw her. I must have missed that. Yeah.
She probably only got like 5 feet away before they got into the.
I'm glad
room.
they're on strike. Yeah, dude. Have you ever crawled away? No, not in a dress. Get the fuck out of here. You could have shot her up her cooch and killed her right there.
They should just like thrown a grenade down the escape.
What? Oh, well, they tossed 2 of them in there. Like when they first showed up, I wonder if they
not in the escape hatch, but
oh my goodness, dude! All right, let's just do this whole shit backwards. All right, dude. So the first person they kill, right? Great death scene, right? He's grabbing a sausage. He gets shot in the head, falls backwards, knocks over like 10 fucking pots and pans. Okay, and then we cut to Gravik, and he opens the front door, but he catches the bell so it doesn't make a fucking noise. Like, I'm sorry, what about the 10 pans that just fucking fell over with that guy getting killed? It's so stupid. It's like, dude, like the writers want to be cool. I feel like they've seen like a Mission Impossible movie, or maybe they watched the Jason Bourne movie, but like got hit in the head when they were leaving the theater, so they don't remember all the details, and they're just trying to like stitch together what they think a spy movie should be, but it's such bad writing.
Also, anyone disappointed they didn't use like their Skrull weapons from Captain Marvel, like their laser pistols?
Yeah,
I think they've been more effective while they're using human weapons, but maybe they just couldn't find any. But small nitpick, not really bad writing.
We got some big nitpicks. But let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning, right? So there's an attack on Russia. Maria Hill's dead.
Well, that's right.
Yeah, I say good riddance. I've never liked the character. I've never liked Colby Smelter. I thought she was terrible as her mother.
Go watch How I Met Your Father, you hater. No, I'm kidding. I haven't watched that show either. But
she broke Ted's heart, and I will never forgive her.
Familiar with her.
I will never forgive her for not accepting the blue horn. But anyway, the blue French horn. But dude, all right, so this is pretty good. Martin Wallace is Nick Fury's friend who gets kidnapped, and the Skrull takes over his identity, and then he gets kidnapped by the Russians, and he gets arrested, or not kidnapped. He gets arrested by the Russians, and he's just screaming, "I'm an American! I'm an American! I'm an American!" And it's like, oh, dude, what a false flag attempt! Like that's so easy. I love it. It's
well, they had the guy
fun, real life implications in this television show.
Well, they had Shooter McGavin play like a Bill O'Reilly type sort of character.
I'm sorry, Shooter McGavin, is that a real person?
Yeah, well, no, it's the character he played in Happy Gilmore. I forget his real. I think.
Oh, wait, who'd you say he played? Sean Hannity. He plays the Sean Hannity character.
Oh, okay. But like same thing, just like a conservative.
Yeah, he plays Sean. Yeah, it's like he's like more Sean Hannity.
I'm old, so I think Bill O'Reilly. But I guess Sean Hannity is like the 2020 version, right? Well, he's been around for a while.
What a terrible laugh. I just think you are. That's so.
But
Bill O'Reilly.
Same thing, Bill O'Reilly. Yeah, Bill
my grandmother called. She loves the podcast.
So, anyway, so Bill O'Reilly or Shooter O'Reilly says like, "Oh, this is totally a false flag." So I guess he's trying to like incense the right wing Americans or something.
No. He's a Skrull. Remember, he's a Skrull, and he's looking for peace. At the beginning of the council, he wanted peace, so he was just trying to like not get America involved. I think, right?
Okay.
And dude, what a bunch of cowards! Dude, I'm worried. Like this is how real life happens, right? Like it's a circle.
Trump,
it's a dinner
turned over to him.
Yeah, exactly, dude. It's a dinner full of like Lindsey Graham, Chris Christie, Ted Cruz, right? All these people were like saying mean, nasty things about Trump, and then Trump like. Stands up. He's like, I'm the Republican nominee, and then everyone's like, oh, I salute Trump or whatever, right? And like, I'm not being. They all turn to
Skrulls.
Right? Yeah. I'm not being political. Right? Lindsey Graham was being political. Lindsey Graham said Trump was the absolute worst, and they all started sucking his dick on live camera.
That was a lame joke. They all grow orange hair.
Orange skin. It's like green. There's orange.
Instead of becoming Skrull, they just like just grow bad orange hair.
They get comb overs.
Yeah, so that'd be funny. They Trumpify. So Trumpamorphosis.
Wait, now I just think about classic Nick Fury, not Samuel Jackson Nick Fury, but white Nick Fury.
Yeah.
If he was actually Joe Biden, but like incompetent 2023 Joe Biden, like that'd be like really fucking funny.
Well, they killed off Nick Fury in the comics. I think, because the one in the black one in the comics is like his son.
Well,
the new one.
The new one, yeah. Well, because the original Black Nick Fury was the ultimate Nick Fury, so that was like
Nick Fury. Where's that porno?
What did I say?
Nick Fury, like a furry, like the people who like the.
Oh yeah, Nick Fury. Yeah, so like that, he started off in the Ultimate Universe, but then the movies came out, and like the comics had to be subservient to the movies, so they had to,
it's a testing ground. It goes comics, CW, AMC.
Yeah. So, but yeah. So,
so how about
this?
We're on a train. We're on a train. We see some Russian soldiers. They're looking for a Black American, and Talos, who's dressed up as this Russian woman, says they have a better chance of finding aliens, which I think is just good writing, right? Because
I like that.
She's an alien. Like that's
you're
that's
talking
hilarious.
to, and they have no idea that they're talking to an alien.
Well, he's trying to
you open that door. There's a black American and an alien on a Russian train heading for
both of them in the one.
Yeah, right. So good.
Also,
there's only like 40,000 black people in Russia.
Wonder how many times he's used that same female version.
That same line. I know.
Well, it's like, why can't he just like be his, or like his? It's kind of weird. Like he changes from one disguise to another disguise. Like, wouldn't it make more sense for him to like go from like female form to Skrull form? But like I said, the actor doesn't want to.
The actor doesn't want to do makeup for sure. And also, if I'm trying, I don't know. If I'm trying to not attract attention, do I want to be a hot Russian blonde? Probably not.
That's true. Yeah. Like, why can't he
I want to be like a homely girl?
Why can't he just be like his normal?
Like Olga, I was like Olga, who talks about potatoes.
And the Russians aren't looking for Talos' human form. Why can't just like talking Russian to them? Like, yeah, he's not here. I'm trying to bang my hot Russian wife who's in here. I can't show you that she's in here, but she's in the shower.
If it was an American trade, he could have just been like a different. He could just shift into a different black person and be like, "What? Do all black people look alike?" And face outrage, and then the white guilt would have took over, and they would have just left the train completely. Different ways you could have played this, but in Russia, there's only one, and that's being a smoking hot Russian blonde.
Because those soldiers are both gay, so that's. I guess he somehow knew that, so that's why they walked away.
Thank goodness.
So, they're in the train, and we find out that there's 1 million Skrulls on Earth, which I guess
Oh my gosh!
All by playing Tell Me Something You Don't Know.
Tell me something I don't know. I love classic Nick Fury parables. Right? We got one in Winter Soldier when he was talking about his grandpa walking down with a bag of cash and a 22. Right? Fun stories. And then Nick Fury comes back and he's got one about his grandma. So shout out to the sad American history of segregation.
And he was talking about playing doctor with his sister.
Susie, not his sister, Susie. He was playing doctor with a girl named Susie. And
I was wondering. I thought Susie was her sister because he mentioned like he was traveling with his mother. I don't know. He was traveling with his mother,
and his mother was asking, "Hey, tell me something I don't know about you and Susie." Now, I'll tell you what, his grandma knows everything about him and his daughter, or him and her granddaughter, right? She wants to know about her grandson and his little crush, his little fling. You know what I'm talking about? Have you ever played doctor? You remember being young and playing doctor with girls? Have you ever played doctor?
So next topic.
All right, I'll do it. I think the environment I grew up in, my kindergarten, I think we more played Pocahontas than Doctor, but we definitely played Doctor once or twice.
Well, which is why maybe Doctor in the sense like you're going to die. You know,
more like morbid. More like let me hear your heart.
Prostate exam. No, yeah.
Yeah. Look, I'm 6 years old. I don't know what I'm doing, but I saw my daddy do this to mommy, and I saw this on TV, and this is
weird.
Awful.
Yeah, it was just a weird. This
is why I live in Florida now. You know, taking sexuality out of.
Why couldn't they just like be like, tell me something I don't know? Like, did you steal like the candy or the cookies? Like, why they like make it like a weird?
Now I want to know something. All right, blossoming. Tell me something I don't know about.
Nick Fury. His brother's a supervillain called.
No, Cross Country.
Something you don't know. I don't know.
I mean, this is kind of a hard game to play with someone you grew up.
That was like 15 years ago. Yeah, I mean, it's nothing to tell. It was like we just ran.
I mean, I don't know much about cross country, so you could probably tell me anything. You could tell me 5K is 2.3 miles, but I do know that.
It's 3.1. But
look at
anyway.
that. See, maybe I don't know that. I used to know that for sure. All right, Robbie, fuck that. Robbie, tell me something I don't know about Star Citizen.
Oh well, I could tell you like just about anything about it that you
don't. I know just about nothing. Well, so tell me something.
Well, today they had an Inside Star Citizen about
is that
their first? Well, it's their YouTube show. Oh. It's basically updates of what they're doing with the game on YouTube. It was their first space station called Port Olisar. It's pretty out of date now. So they basically had a way of sending it off, and they're putting a new upgraded station in its place and orbiting around Crusader.
So speaking
Crusader is like it's this huge gas giant.
Oh, okay. Huge gas giant sounds like my
and inside and there's a Orison, which they call the city in the clouds, because it's basically a whole bunch of flying platforms inside the gas giant, which is kind of cool.
So speaking of stuff in space, Skrullos was destroyed by the Kree. I'm guessing it was the Kree. That's what they said, right?
Yeah, it was the Kree.
And then there's only 1 million Skrulls left, and they're all on.
Yeah.
And then he kicked them off the train because he was.
What about this? This is wild.
He sent us.
Oh man, I feel like that's going to turn around and bite him too.
Oh, dude,
you think he's going to come right back to him, or is he going to kind of go to the rest of the Skrulls?
Well, did Talos Talos wanted to talk with his daughter, right? So he's going to talk to his daughter, who was a triple agent because she turned on Gravik initially, and now she was not really, but she was really working for Gravik.
She's working for Gravik. Oh, later on in my notes, I have her as the mother of drivers.
The mother of drivers? Oh, okay, because Mother of Dragons.
Gravik. Yeah, thank you.
So, what else happened? Oh, yeah, we got to talk about the firing scene between him and War Machine.
Yeah. So, Rhodey. Let's
well,
is he a Skrull? What do you think?
Oh, yeah.
He's definitely he's a goddamn Skrull for sure.
That's what I didn't think about, because I know the president. Rhodey. I'm pretty sure the president's a Skrull.
Okay, so here's my logic. Let's talk about this.
Which
Rhodey's the War Machine, the black guy who. Yeah. Iron Man's black friend. When Tony Stark says, "No, it's okay, I have a black friend."
Yeah, I know. But who
so here's my
basically
thing.
fired him.
Rhodey went to this United Nations meeting with 27, I don't know where that number came from, but sticking on my head, 27 fucking countries or whatever, and Slovakia was rolling her eyes a lot, right? He wasn't even
Skrullvakia, you mean?
Skrullvakia, hilarious. What a pun there. Go ahead and tweet that out. He's nobody. He's a colonel. He's not the president. He's not vice president.
I thought he was the Secretary of Defense or something.
He's not the Secretary of Defense. He's not the Secretary of State. No. They would call him that. He'd be like Secretary of Defense, Rhodey, or Secretary of Defense, right? Or Ambassador Rhodey. No, he's Colonel Rhodey. He's still just a colonel. So there's no that's such a low-ranking person to send to a group of delegates from Europe who think that you killed over 2,000 people in Russia. That's an act of war. So my thoughts are, Rhodey's a Skrull, and that's why he was sent. But he could only be sent by someone else who knew who was a Skrull, right?
Who was a Skrull?
Who was also a Skrull. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be like the president or someone very high up gave the authorization to send this Skrull to act on their behalf.
Well, doesn't Rhodey I think he doesn't believe the Skrulls are a threat or something, but I think he might see the president become a Skrull. He's like, oh shit.
I mean, look, if I'm a Skrull, I wouldn't say I'm a threat. I wouldn't say Skrulls are a threat either.
That's true.
And we find out with Rhodey and Fury talking. Rhodey says they found out Skrulls. He found about Skrulls about 15 years ago, which from my math is about. Well, really Iron Man 2, but it could be Iron Man 1, right? So if, this, in theory, Rhodey is the same character that Terrence Howard played in Iron Man 1, which would be about 16 years ago, 17 years ago, depending on like the timeline of when Secret Invasion actually takes place. 15 would be more in line with him and Iron Man 2. So I don't know if that was like a wink and a nod at the casting choice, or if maybe that's when he got replaced by a Skrull.
Well, it's interesting.
Like if Rhodey becomes best friends with Iron Man, wouldn't you want to replace Rhodey with a Skrull?
Well, he's like the only really Avenger in this show because, he was in, Endgame. He's one of the guys who didn't get snapped. Right. So I guess he is like the only Avenger in this show that I think about it. But obviously he's probably going to put on his War Machine costume because this show probably doesn't have the budget for it. But it's funny because they're doing an Armor Wars miniseries where he's going to be the star. So I'm hoping they're going to tease some of that Armor Wars stuff at the show.
Maybe he can't be a Skrull if he's gonna star his own television show. Maybe
they could like free him from that Chernobyl place. It's over, but I mean, I could definitely see Rhodey being a Skrull. But do I think he's going to be one? No. The president? Oh yeah. So let's talk about the we were talking about the Skrull Council meeting, like the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
The head of the EU.
Let's talk a little bit more about it.
The head of the EU, Bill O'Reilly, Shooter O'Reilly.
The guy from NATO.
The guy from that was the main guy. The Indian president.
Yeah, and then they all just...
an Asian dude who is, I'm guessing, is the
very quiet.
What if he's not a Skrull? What if he's a Kree?
Ooh.
Or if they really wanted to, like, make us go crazy. What if he's the chameleon from Spider-Man?
Get the spum out of here.
Okay, well, what if he's the Mandarin? No, that's terrible.
Okay, come back in. Come back in with these hogwash theories.
We've already had two fake mandarins. What was I saying? The council scene.
So the council scene, yeah.
Gravik's now the
I gotta tell you what. No, so Gravik walks in with Emilia Clarke, Gaia, right? And Gaia gets refused entry, and he hands Gravik. I just brain fart completely. Yeah, Gravik. Sorry, Gravik hands his gun to the mother drivers and says, "If I'm not back in an hour, shoot this man." And I will tell you right now, if I was that bodyguard, I would start counting in my head to 59 minutes, and then I would just shoot her first. Right? Yeah. I would start counting 500. I would start counting 3,540 Mississippis, and then I would just shoot her first.
Yeah, so like an hour and 59 minutes to shoot her first.
Yeah, and then in the meeting, right? They're talking and like, oh, they're people, not dogs. And then Gravik's like, I like dogs. Dogs don't.
They lick their own butts.
Poison. Dogs don't pimp. Like, get the fuck out of here. Dogs
eat their own
dogs
shit.
Do all that stuff. Are you kidding me? Like, dogs don't destroy their own habitats. And then I'd love to see a supercut like America's Funniest Home Videos of just like 100 hours of dogs, of like owners coming home like their dogs like destroy their couches, destroy their homes. Yeah. Like, dude, how dumb are these fucking writers? Like, are they just all cat ladies? Like, do they not understand like what dogs are? Have they never seen like a dog video? I just don't understand who is writing this garbage. Is it AI? Is it the same?
Well, it's funny. I think the showrunner for this show worked on Mr. Robot, so maybe he's AI. So Skrull. What if they're like, maybe if they're not just Skrulls or life model decoys? Because I don't think they've been. I think maybe like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. introduced that concept, but it's never really been introduced in like the MCU that Feige oversees. Because I think Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. wasn't in his purview. But it'd be funny if like
Bradstreet is the showrunner.
Yeah, he worked on Mr. Robot, and I think I looked him up last night.
Copper.
Oh, okay. I think that's a BBC show that takes place in New York. It's like gangs.
This guy looks
Skrully
to hang out with. No, this guy looks awful. And it's just his haircut.
Okay, I haven't seen Mr. Robot. Apparently, it was like USA's
Kyle Bradstreet. If you're listening and you're unhappy in your life,
hire us.
You can literally just get a haircut and attract all the fame and fortune women you're looking for in your life. Yeah. Truly, the worst hair I've seen since Morgan Wallace. No, I would rather have a mullet than the hairstyles of Kyle Bradstreet. And I only point this out because, dude, if you're making such bad decisions on your fucking hair, how bad are the decisions you're making on your television shows?
Maybe that was like a picture I took of him during the pandemic and he couldn't go to the barber.
I don't know. He's holding an award, right? He's holding a Writers Guild award in his hand. So, like, I don't know. Was there a Writers Guild award show going on during the pandemic of which he could accept an award, but the barbershop wasn't open? I did not know.
Maybe there wasn't one on the way. Okay, so what else happened? The torture scene, and then the old lady tortures that dude. And I mean, why couldn't he even lie? It says, like, what did you tell him? Like, only lies. Like that would have been a good idea.
Oh, I told him nothing. Only lies. It's like, wait, did you tell him nothing?
Pick one.
Tell him only lies. Yeah, you fucking dumbass. And then
Nothing's true.
I like how they just pulled over and they shot him on the side of the road. Like, this is
he knew he was
this is how real
lying,
life happens. Yeah, this is real life.
I mean, Gravik was probably just like, he's an idiot anyway. So he's my cousin's husband, so I gotta employ him.
What we find out at the very end of the episode?
Fury has the cosmic Fury's the cosmic
Skrull girlfriend.
He has a cosmic fever.
So does Fury know his wife is a Skrull?
Oh, dude. I didn't think about that part.
No way he does.
I think
there's a Skrull woman cutting.
I was thinking he does.
That's why I thought at first.
She did change.
She changed. As soon as here's my thoughts. So she changed. She heard the door open and she changed. Right? Why would you change? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, when I open the door, my wife doesn't put more clothes on when I come in. She doesn't like disguise herself even more. On top of that, we've seen this episode in the last episode that the Skrull have systematically over the last 20, 30 years since the 1990s gone through and have inserted themselves into important positions and important lives of the world, right? Whether it's the lead host of FXN News, right, or the lead military arm of NATO, right? These are the Skrulls have infiltrated the most important people, most likely the United States president, right? So why wouldn't they infiltrate Nick Fury's life? Why wouldn't they have a Skrull who is an attractive black woman who Nick Fury falls in love with and marries, right?
It would be so weird. It would be so weird that if, like, he's married to a Skrull, but she has to be a black woman who's approximately his age in order for him to, like, want to do her. That just seems way too far.
No.
It makes way more sense.
Don't get me wrong. Nick Fury is a man. I'm sure if that Skrull was a 20-year-old smoking hot Megan Fox, Nick Fury would fuck the shit out of her. Don't get me wrong, right? I'm talking about if you're in like early 2000s and you're at a bar and you're trying to seduce Nick Fury, right? I would be going as a sexy black chick to pick him up. As an alien race, these are the primitive thoughts I would have. Obviously, as myself, as an American, I would dress up as Megan Fox 10 out of 10 times. That's how you pick
If he knows his wife's a Skrull, it's really stupid. It makes.
I don't think he knows his wife's a Skrull.
It makes way more sense if they, like, kidnapped her like years ago and they just inserted one of their Skrulls as his wife.
Now that we know that Nick Fury has a wife who's a Skrull, right, and husband and wives do marriage things, aka coitus. Do you think the Skrull vagina is located where the human vagina is, or do you think it shifts when they shapeshift?
Their chins already look like scrotums, so, like, it
doesn't stop Peter Griffin.
Yeah, I don't know. I imagine their biology's the same. It's best not to think about it, or they can just shapeshift to make it seem that way.
They shift everything.
Everything.
So,
all right.
But yeah, what else happened in this episode? It seemed like Gaia and Gravik have feelings for each other because he gave her, like, he was leering at her.
No, dude, I think Gravik's like just using her. Like, that was weird. Like, Gravik walks up to, like, so Gravik after the council meeting, we talked about this. Like, goes back to, like, his home base, and there's like 100 like Skrulls. They're all celebrating. They're all praising Gravik. Why? We don't know. Like, did he send a mass text out saying, like, "Hey guys, like, I blew up Russia council"? Yeah, like, what the fuck? Like,
I think they're celebrating
without
promotion.
Yeah, without any, like, yeah, they're celebrating him without any, like, dialogue or any reason to celebrate him, right? But he walks with this random chick and he's like, "You're the reason. I couldn't have done this without you. You're the reason for our success." And it's like, yeah, we've never seen that chick before. That's so random. And I just like, I wonder if like, one, who the fuck is she? And then two, like, that was just so weird. Like,
isn't that like every
back to Gaia, the camera scene? Like, I was like, look, I understand you want me to take away something from the scene, but the writing's so bad, I don't know what it is.
Basically, every YouTube influencer or like YouTube celebrity is like, I couldn't have done it without this, guys. We did this. And it's like, you're gonna split your paycheck up a million ways amongst your subscribers? I don't think so.
No.
I hate when they say like we did this.
We did this together.
Like I did this, but
that's right. When I say we posted this episode of Zeitgeist Zealots, it's not a we. It's a Forrest thing. Forrest posted this episode.
Yes. Although there's no money to split between you guys. There's no, although I would. So that's
this week's episode is sponsored to you by the Skrull. Lizard people, they are everywhere. Guys, do you want to hear top 5 list of lizard people?
Kurt Connors.
Oh, what? Is that
Spider-Man? No, the lizard from Spider-Man. He's literally a lizard.
I'm talking about real life. I'm talking about real life people who think that we have real life reptiles.
No.
Well, I'm going to give you the top 5 anyway because I Googled it. So here it is. Number 1, Justin Bieber. Number 2, the late Queen Elizabeth II. Number 3, Miley Cyrus. Number 4, Zuckerberg. And number 5, Musk. If you guys have any other celebrities you think, celebrities or famous people or military people you think.
Does this mean
a reptile?
What if he was an alien trying to get back to Mars?
Was Zuckerberg in that list?
Zuckerberg is on the list.
Oh, okay.
Zuckerberg versus Musk.
So
we might see our first extraterrestrial cage fight.
When I first heard about it, I didn't think it was serious, but yeah, they're actually.
No, Zuckerberg came. So I read the headline. It was like Zuckerberg wins a black belt jiu-jitsu competition over the weekend.
Dude, that's gonna make so much money.
All right, dude. Fuck Conor McGregor and
because everybody's gonna want to see how that turns out.
What's his name? I can't remember his name.
Floyd Mayweather. Floyd
Mayweather. Yeah. Dude, fuck that kid. That match is nothing, dude. The highest grossing event of all time would be Elon Musk versus.
Watch 2 billionaires just beat the crap out of
Now the question is, would that be good? And also, do I want 2 of America's most innovative people, despite my feelings about them, do I want them risking concussions? Probably not. Do I want Mark Zuckerberg, who's in charge? Like, Facebook single-handedly brought down democracy in multiple countries, including England, including fucking the UK. Okay, so do we want the guy in charge of Facebook to maybe face an extra concussion or 2? I'd say probably not. This seems like a national security issue, but.
Well, this isn't the first time 2 billionaires have fought. Vince McMahon and Donald Trump fought on
ooh, that was such a good
WWC.
I
didn't see that
fight too. Oh, dude, you gotta find the YouTube. You gotta look it up. It's amazing.
But now Vince McMahon isn't a billionaire anymore, so they can't do.
Is he not?
No, he lost like a third of his fortune because I think just like WWC or some investments he was invested in tanked or something. But he's no longer a billionaire.
But the WWE just got bought by like Saudi Arabia. I thought for sure he'd getting that money back.
Yeah, I don't think he's in the billionaires club anymore. You could check, but I think like he was recently or a few years ago he lost his billionaire status. I think he's still doing very well, but yeah, he just can't fight Donald Trump anymore. But yeah, that's basically I think all we had for Secret Invasion. I guess predictions for next week. I don't really care. I mean, I'm not. It wasn't really a cliffhanger. I mean, I guess we're gonna find out if he knows his wife's a Skrull or not. I think that's probably the biggest.
I'm curious.
Reveal.
So his wife's definitely a Skrull. The question is, does he know he's a Skrull?
I think we're gonna find out if he knows or not.
Yeah, when I first watched it, I was thinking that he knew, but
we're gonna find out if like his real wife is like kidnapped or if she's being held.
Robbie. I know you won't know the answer to this, so I want to ask you this, okay? And I'll tell you this right now. I'm gonna get. If I was asked this question, I would get this answer wrong. But we're talking about the ex-CEO of the WWE, Vince McMahon, right? Can you attempt to spell his last name?
McMahon?
Yeah, McMahon.
I know how it's spelled.
It sounds the way. Well, since you're
it
asking,
sounds the way it sounds. No, it's a trap.
Since you're asking,
dude.
it can't be the way.
No, dude. His name is Vince
because it sounds like MCMAN, but I'm guessing.
Yeah, no, right. It's MCMAHON. McMahon. Yeah. Like the fact
I would not have guessed
says
that.
This guy's name is
well, it's not that the H is silent. The H is just quick. Vince McMahon. So the H is very quick.
This is a fucking lie. I had a teacher back in high school tell me the W in her name, in her last name, isn't pronounced. Okay, and then while she was writing me up and she was yelling at me, I was like, "Oh, by the way, the W in my last name isn't pronounced."
That
she wrote me up twice. Yeah, I'm not gonna say
that Russian.
Right.
Oh, Wagner. Oh no. So this was
Wagner. Yeah,
Wagner.
That's W.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this. So there's the Wagner group, right? But we all call them the Wagner group. However, we crucify anyone who dare says Barcelona or Cuba.
Wait, so what happened with them? Has there been more info come out? I haven't really kept up.
Apparently the rebellion was, I think they just stopped rebelling and then Putin forgave them.
I think, so dude, the Wagner group marched their ass straight up Russia's asshole. And then let's just say Pogozin got an offer he couldn't refuse, turned the troops around
to let him get.
He got excused to go to Belarus, so he's either going to become infinitely rich or he's about to be killed in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, we'll see. It's kind of just it's surprising, but just not,
but also so gross, but as someone who has constantly had bad bosses their entire life, there's a respectable quality about this man, right? The Russians killed thousands of his own troops, and he said, "Fuck that," and he turned on Russia. He turned on him, dude. My boss, right, gets a message from his boss that I have to stay late for overtime and I don't get paid or whatever. And my boss is like, "Oh, well, that's just corporate America. That's just life. That just sucks to suck." Right? And this guy's like, "Nah, fucking turn all the troops around. We're going to go fucking invade Moscow." Right, dude? And Putin kills his best friend. Putin kills his advisors. Right? So all I think is if corporate America had
kind of surprising to me.
This guy.
Sounds like letting him off easier than Putin usually would.
Yeah, that's a little suspicious too.
He needs them. He needs them because the war's not going so well.
It's so sketchy.
But it's
Russia,
so funny.
Putin said he's not going to use nuclear weapons, but he said that after he gave a bunch of nukes to Belarus. That's so sketch, dude.
I didn't use them.
Yeah, if I handed Robbie a gun, I was like, "I'm not gonna shoot you," and I look at my buddy, I'm like, "He might,"
It's very obvious that Secret Invasion was written before the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
Yeah, dude.
Otherwise, they won't use them so heavily.
Sokovia or something. I cannot believe they covered with Russia the whole time.
Yeah, it's we meant the country of Musha. They just make up a country or something like that.
Just all ADR it.
The Mushins are mad, man. But yeah, I think that's all we have. I have one extra thing.
I have the billionaire lifeline of this man, spelled MCMAHON, Vince McMahon. He first became a billionaire in 1999 after WWE first went public.
Yep.
His net worth reached an all-time high of $3.2 billion in 2019.
Wow.
And in 2020, he was worth $1.7 billion. His estimated worth right now is $2.8 billion after the Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay. I thought he lost his billionaire status. Okay. Well, that's strange.
Oh, here's a Bleacher report that says he dropped below $1 billion back in the early 2000s. So you are correct. He became a billionaire after 99.
Oh, I thought it was a few years ago. Okay.
No, early 2000s.
Okay. Well, I'm sure he'll do okay. I'm sure he'll.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll take care of all the wrestlers that made him literally billions of dollars. I'm sure he'll take care of all their concussions, all their CTEs. Dude, how much how many? Like, let's say there's 1,000 wrestlers. There's not. Let's say there was 1,000 wrestlers, right? And each of those 1,000 wrestlers cost, like, their medical conditions cost $1 million, right?
Yep.
That's nothing compared to $2.8 billion to take care of.
Yeah, I think the Iron Sheik died recently. I think he was having trouble getting money.
I don't know if the word recent is correct, but Iron Sheik definitely died.
Yeah, it was like within like a few last few weeks.
Oh, last few weeks.
Yeah, it was pretty recent.
Oh, June 7th, 2023. Holy shit, that was recent. Oh.
So
I was thinking of a little Mandela effect there.
But like him trying to get money for surgery, that wasn't as recent. I think it was like
that's sad.
But like they had like Kickstarter. But yeah, so I think it's Secret Invasion was better this week than last week, and we'll see if it gets better. Well, we got to talk about one thing.
It looks like they're getting 81.
Well, they're getting all the DNA from all these different monsters, like Groot.
Obsidian. Yeah, Frost Giant. The guys from Iron Man 3,
Extremis. Yeah. So that's basically the show's version of the Super Skrull, and the Super Skrull in the comics has the powers of the Fantastic Four. Although obviously they can't use Fantastic Four yet.
Well, they can't. They have the rights. They just refuse to.
They're just not going to introduce them in Secret Invasion. So.
Oh God! Thank goodness too. Don't introduce Fantastic Four in a television show that no one's watching. Please don't.
Yeah. So, and I think like in one of the teasers we see Gravik with Groot powers or something like that. So we're gonna see the Skrulls be powered up with Groot abilities and I guess heat abilities and frost abilities and whatever.
I am green.
Yeah. So yeah, it's be interesting to see. So this show, I'm not like blown away by this show. It's not fantastic, but
this feels Andorish. This feels Andorish,
yeah,
right?
It's slowly getting better. It's a slow crawl. But
it's right now it's a light. It's a light post in the dark distance, right? Like there's a glimmer of hope, but we're not quite sure if it's something yet. Episode 1 sucked. Episode 2 dragged me right back in. I am ready for this.
You want to plug our social media?
You know I do. You can, guys, tell us what you think about old man Nick Fury, right? Right now, I feel like it's better than old man Obi-Wan, but we'll see. And why does Disney hate old men so much? I mean, what is happening? There's a juxtaposition here. You got old man Obi-Wan, old man Nick Fury, right? And then on the flip side of Disney, you have an 80-year-old spry Harrison Ford in Indiana Jones 5. What the fuck is, like, what is happening in Disney? I don't understand it at all. Do you guys understand it? Please tweet us at Zealots Podcast. We have a Discord, but I'm not going to plug it. We don't want you to join it. Wink, wink, a little reverse psychology for you guys. But no, if you guys want to secretly invade our DMs, I would not fight that one single bit. Thanks so much for listening.
Matt, what did you do?
Oh, Matt's here.
Oh, Matt popped in.
Yo, secret invasion of the Matt attack.
As we're popped in, as we're about to finish things.
Literally just got home.
Last time Matt showed up, I was also having sex with my wife for an hour, and then Matt just walked in the door the last, and he just like took over for me. So let's tap in, Matt.
So I actually saw the first episode of Secret Invasion, and I have more questions than answers. I'm gonna stick with it for now, but overall I'm not too overly impressed.
The second episode was
listen to this podcast, but you're gonna love episode 2. Episode 2 is way better.
My only question is, does Disney not know what a dirty bomb is? Why would you be blowing up 3 dirty bombs in the same area? Makes no sense.
And how is Nick Fury not irradiated right now?
Yeah,
Disney thinks a dirty bomb is just straight.
A really big bomb,
burning.
You know.
It just spreads dust everywhere, dirt everywhere. It's literally what they think a dirty bomb is. It just makes things dirty. Doesn't actually.
Dirty bomb.
Or they're just dirty criminals who started a bomb.
And I'm just convinced everybody's a Skrull. So
everyone is a Skrull.
It's a bomb designed by chimney sweeps.
All right, so Matt, let's play the game. Is Nick Fury a Skrull?
After the first episode, yes. I'm curious to see how it goes after the second episode. But Don Cheadle I have a feeling it's gonna turn out to be a Skrull.
How many Skrulls do you think there are?
Well, I think the president right now, or no, the president isn't.
God damn.
But the president isn't. But Don Cheadle, who's advising him, is. But
I might change your mind on this episode of Zealots at Zealots Podcast on Twitter if you want to tweet us.
Yeah, but I'm curious to see where they take the whole Nick Fury thing, especially because he's not wearing the eye patch. So
yeah, well,
what's up with that? Did Nick Fury say no eye patch, or did the director say I want cat scratches on those eyes?
I think the director, or no, Nick Fury and like the guy who plays Talos had in thetheir contracts no eye patches, no makeup.
Well, maybe it's because he's he's more, I don't want to say on the lookout for, he's more aware of the actual issues that are going on, and so instead of hiding the fact that he can see, because he had the eye patch before and was blindsided. Now, if he doesn't have the eye patch, he can't be blindsided by what's to come. I don't know.
Symbolism.
He's got to be more aware. He's got to use all the senses in the Secret Invasion.
Interesting.
Both eyes open. I like it. I like that metaphor. He's got to keep both eyes open.
Yep.
I don't think that's what they were going for. The writing talent in Marvel hasn't been that good in the last 5 years, but god damn, that's a good theory. And I think Forrest should tweet that out after this episode.
Well, they could do rewrites.
One parting thought before we end. Watch the new trailer for Dune. Just got released today.
Yeah,
Christopher Walken actually looks like he can pull off the Emperor.
Ooh.
That's all I'm saying. Everything else I have issues with.
You gotta give me the spice.
Check that out.
Yeah,
Spice.
Fade Routha, I'm not happy with.
So bad.
Other things I'm not happy with, but Christopher Walken, the thing I was like, ooh, this could either be 100% awesome or 100% like the worst casting decision ever made. And it's looking like it's an awesome one.
Christopher Walken, Christopher Reeve, casting decision. Let's talk about Superman casting. We have
that's right.
New Superman and Lois Lane. And I just want to tell you guys, Lois Lane has been naked on camera before. So you can see Lois Lane's boobs. And they are better than your girlfriend's. So
on the Marvelous Miss Mabel?
I don't know who the actress is.
I just know like the girl from Marvelous Miss Mabel.
I googled. I heard it online and I googled it, and then I googled her name nude, and then I was like, "Those tits look fantastic," and then I closed out of it.
Well, apparently it's like a show that's won a bunch of Emmys, but I don't know anyone who watches it.
Well, wait, the Marvelous Ms. Maisel. I've never seen it, but as an aspiring comedian, I can appreciate the hell out of the premise, as she's like one of the first like female comedians. But I'll tell you a tragic story. It's allegedly one of Amazon's best shows. However, it got slashed, it got canceled because the budget needed to go towards Rings of Power.
Oh,
so,
wow.
Yeah. So they literally are robbing Peter to pay Paul, except Paul is a heroin drug addict who turned my backyard into Mordor.
Yeah. Well, we'll see how it goes.
For a script on it.
I think everyone's still mad that Henry Cavill was fired.
So mad.
Yeah.
I understand the age, but also get the fuck over it, dude.
Literally after he said he wasn't going to do Witcher season 4, and now he's just like jobless. Yeah.
So, parting question: this weekend, are we seeing Indiana Jones or Flash?
Probably Indiana
Flash.
Jones.
No, the Indiana Jones. I gotta see the Flash. Gotta see the Flash.
I don't want to see either, but my brother will be dragging me to Indiana Jones.
No.
And I have a feeling I'm gonna cry with how bad it is.
Just wait till Flash is on Max.
If I was to pick between the two, I'd go Flash.
I don't want to support Flash just because
Well, I mean that's why I'm not watching The Little Mermaid. But when my daughter's born on Disney Plus, we'll watch it. Like, dude, she's a great singer. Don't get me wrong, but like, I'll never forget this TikTok. My wife showed me this TikTok, and it's like it's on Black Talk. And, like Black Talk, there's Black Talk, right? And it's like this Black family, and they're recording this little black girl watching the Little Mermaid trailer. And the mom's like, "Oh my God, aren't you so happy?" And the little daughter like turns around. She goes, "That's not Ariel." And she goes,
I've seen that video.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, "Ariel's not black." It's so funny. Like,
the little kid just
if you really look, if there's not a goddamn agenda, if you really wanted to like create representation, then you would just create it. Create amazing black roles in movies. It's
they're gonna do.
No, I'm telling you, shut the fuck up. I have 20 red hairs on my beard. So as a ginger full of freckles, I feel attacked. My people are being erased from the screens, from Ariel to Jimmy Johnson to the other 27 white gingers who have been replaced by black people in the last 5 years.
It's crazy that they're doing a Moana adaptation.
There's an epidemic going on, and there's a lack of representation that's not being talked about. My ginger brothers stand up against South Park, stand up against the patriarch, or should I say the blondie arc, or the
wasn't half of Game of Thrones gingers? You've had your time.
Oh, I don't know. It's funny,
and look at this. Yeah, and look at the prequel. They were replaced by my black brethren of the East with blonde hair.
It's sad that they're doing a Moana adaptation where they do a Princess and the Frog adaptation. That was like the first.
No. What's sad is like someone tried to tell The Rock he wasn't Hawaiian enough to play his character Moana.
He gets recast by Jason Momoa.
The woke culture's got out of control. When you tell The Rock he's not Islander Pacific enough to play an Island Pacific, like get the fuck out of here.
Well, I think his dad's black, right? Because he's only like half Samoan.
Peak absurdity. This is like the time the Wall Street, I think it's the Wall Street Journal, New York, I don't know, someone called Idris Elba an amazing African American actor. And it's like, no, he's black and he's from England, you fucking dumbass.
Well, you know what's crazy too about Idris Elba? He came out recently and said he was debating James Bond, but because of the backlash people had about it, he just was sickened by the racism of, black person can't play James Bond. That he's like, I don't want to deal with that. And so, like, you can kind of have it the opposite way as well. I would have loved to have Idris Elba. I think he would have been one of the best James Bonds ever.
He's been the best James Bond. Oh my God.
Look at Luther, man.
Is a black man.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? So, if I on paper describe to you what James Bond does, he's a black man at heart. Like, he's so awesome. Idris Elba would be the absolute best.
Well, I think they're shopping around with Aaron Taylor Johnson as the next Bond, and to bring him up again because I just brought him up. Anyone seen the new Kraven the Hunter trailer?
He
gets his powers.
Before we pivot, while I'm going back to the message of black creators should create black creations, right? What if we had instead? All right, so we keep James Bond white to appease the white people, and we come out with James Booty instead of James Bond. James Booty.
He's talking about like the whole.
This is a terrible idea.
He's not a bitch guy. He's an ass guy. And it's Idris Elba.
I really like the blaxploitation, the black empowerment, movies in the 70s and the 80s. Like, so those are some really amazing films.
The Afrocentric.
But it's basically what Luke Cage is based off of.
But that was because they literally couldn't get into films, so they had to make these. And I think I would hope that at this point we're beyond that. But from what we're seeing with the U.S. right now, we're not.
Speaking of black superheroes, The Flash had the third largest superhero drop off from week 1 to week 2. Do you know what the number 1 movie was?
Morbius.
Steel. Starring Shaq.
Yeah, I forgot about
Morbius was number 2, Matt. Morbius was number 2 for week 1 to week 2 drop offs, but number 1 was Steel.
Wow.
I think Flash just made back its production budget today, but that's not counting marketing costs, and the studio only gets half the money back from the theaters. So
I heard
it's probably going to cost
Indiana
$200
Jones
million.
has a production budget of $295 million.
Oh God,
that CGI better be amazing.
That's de-aging him.
Endgame is $300 million for the reference.
Damn,
wow.
Must be nice.
Yeah, well, I think,
we could pay for kids to have meals at school. We could pay for a lot of these issues to be solved. But no, we're gonna make these really shitty Marvel movies.
Take this $300 million from Indiana Jones, put that into AI, and then fire every goddamn writer in California. if you put $300 million into OpenAI and the ChatGPT, like the $300 million will get you a perfect script. That's the kind of research that will happen into it, right? Like, get the fuck out of here. And look, I'm pro the writer's strike. I'm anti the garbage
writers
have been putting out. Yeah.
The writer's strike is more about, profits off of streaming because, like, for instance, Arrested Development on Netflix, how they released that season and then they redid it into 20-minute episodes. And so they cut it up and never paid the writers, for that, even though they were re-releasing it as a different, story.
They reverse Taylor Swift them? That's fucked
Yep.
up.
So a lot of these streaming services, like when it bounces from one to another, like residual rights get changed. So, pay the writers.
Here's my thing. Have you ever used ChatGPT? It's garbage, right?
Yeah.
The writing is not good, right? If anyone actually, if there were good writers out there, they could easily outscript AI language modeling systems cut off from September 2021, right? So like, this really just seems like an issue of incompetency.
Well, so I would argue though, is it really incompetent writers, or is it kind of a symptom of a bigger problem? Like this is like, the idea that Americans want this really shitty stuff because they sell, all these tickets. For me, is it really more of a symptom, or is it like the problem? And I think it's people pay to see these really crappy movies, and we're shelling out, especially overseas. I think South Park made fun of it, how we make the role of Chinese, actors or storylines more appeasable to the Chinese. That way they can play it over there. Yeah. So, maybe that's first? More of it.
What came first, the shitty writer or the shitty consumer?
Exactly. I mean, I just was grocery shopping at Walmart today, and I questioned humanity. So,
I mean, that's every time I shop at Walmart.
So, that's basically our show. I gotta watch the Dune trailer. That sounds pretty sick. And I guess next week we'll have Secret Invasion. I guess hopefully, if everyone sees Indiana Jones by next week, we can talk about that too.
Yeah, we'll watch The Flash and review that. Do you want to compromise? Do you want to compromise and watch Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull? That seems like a Indiana Jones movie, and it's gonna be bad.
I don't think all four of us going to see The Flash is going to help it make its money back. So I don't know, but I think if I had to choose one of the two, I'd rather see Indiana Jones.
Can we do a round table real fast? I want to go around individually. I'm going to start with Matt, then Robbie, then with you, Forrest. Why haven't you seen The Flash yet? I'll start. My wife, 100%. I'm not the guy who pre-orders tickets. I'm not the guy who sees tickets in the movie theater the first weekend, but I would have seen it that following Monday if it wasn't for my wife and her work schedule. All right, on to you, Matt. Why haven't you seen The Flash?
So first off, Tuesday matinees, but I have no desire whatsoever. You know me, I hate DC. I hate everything DC. Except for Batman.
Okay.
Except for Batman.
This is a Batman.
But that's the thing. Keaton. I was tempted because of Michael Keaton, but still, Flash does nothing for me, and I don't want to waste my money on.
If I'm all right, Ezra Filler for this Batman movie.
So,
right, what about you, Robbie? Why haven't you seen Flash yet?
All the mixed reviews, and I've heard bad ones more than good ones.
I mean, it's like at 66, I think, on Rotten Tomatoes. That's not awful.
James Gunn said it was one of the greatest superhero movies of all time.
Yeah, but he works for WB now, so you can't take his word face value.
His paycheck literally depends on you've seen this movie. Stephen King said this. I think the DCU.
I bet he liked It Part 2, which I heard was awful. I bet he gave a positive review for that one too. It's funny. Yeah.
Blue Beetle's coming out. Aquaman 2 is coming out this year. They're both going to be major flops. No one's going to see this fucking movie.
Blue Beetle looks horrible.
I think Aquaman's going to make money because, like, you got to remember, Fast X just made a ton of money. Had Jason Momoa.
Oh, that's a good point. No,
the first Aquaman made a lot of money too.
Made the most money, dude. Imagine being
$1 billion
an executive at Warner Brothers and be like, wait, Aquaman is the least favorite hero of the Justice League. There's just 40 years of people making fun of Aquaman, And yet, Aquaman's our highest-grossing movie.
Yes.
I'm so confused right now.
Actually, it does kind of make sense because that's what Marvel kind of did. There's a reason why Thor, Iron Man are picked for the first movies was because they were, the IP that they could sell. And if it flopped, then it flopped. So I always thought as a Marvel fan, seeing Iron Man and Thor, I was like, wow, these are really, fourth, fifth tier.
You should look into this, listeners, if you want to learn more. Look into this as well. I'm not an excellent source on this, but if I'm not mistaken, I believe Marvel went all in on Iron Man 1. I think they took out erroneous bank deals and loans for this movie. Like, if Iron Man 1 flopped, this was the end of Marvel.
And the script was
and the thing is there's a reason why Marvel sold Spider-Man to Sony. Marvel sold Fantastic Four to Sony. Like, they're more popular ones. They're like, hey, here you go.
Yeah, Marvel was failing in the 90s.
Yeah, if it wasn't for Blade, Marvel Studios would not exist. So we can thank Marvel Studios still being around on Blade, the first one.
Is that why they have yet to come out with a Blade script yet? Allegedly, this movie.
Well, so no, I think the issue is just that. What are they on? Like their 6th or 7th, director already.
I think they're their 4th director and their 5th screenwriter.
They just brought in the writer from True Detective because Mahershala Ali worked on True Detective season 3, so he brought in Nick Pizzolatto. So now I'm a little bit more excited because the first season of True Detective is amazing. Third one was basically just like a rip off the first one, but I'm sure he's a way better writer. So I mean, hopefully they'll go hard R on that one.
Keep going.
I was gonna say, as long as Chris Trevorrow never or Colin Trevorrow never has another script writing job again.
So, but
for those not listening, for those who don't follow me on Twitter, you guys been listening to the podcast. I love the Rise of Skywalker. I had defended against Matt on my Twitter. I called this out. I had defended Colin Trevorrow for years against Matt, right? And I watched Jurassic World Dominion like last week, the week before that. And dude, like the movie ended, the credits start scrolling up, and I buried my head in my hands in defeat. And I was so sad because for so long I told Matt no, that Colin Trevorrow and his daddy issues were right. And I've never been so wrong in my entire life. Dude, get this man away from a typewriter.
Well, they could have Colin Trevorrow. They could have Colin Trevorrow do the Khazar movie in the Savage Land. He's already done dinosaurs, yeah.
And to circle back really quick to Craven, can I just ask one thing?
Yeah.
Can we just do the Sinister Six? No, can we just do the Sinister Six in its own movie instead of? I have a feeling they're going to slowly introduce every character of the Sinister Six.
You don't want the Marvel build-up. You just want the DCU, Justice League.
I would like a 2.5-hour movie of introducing all members of the Sinister Six, then a bunch of movies that are 2.5, 3 hours of how did they all come together.
Well, Drew Goddard was originally, I think the guy who did the Daredevil show initially was going to do a Sinister Six movie, but then that got canceled, obviously. But I remember seeing the lion blood scene in the trailer and was like, did Charlie Sheen write this?
Yeah. So is Craven Sony or is Craven Marvel?
Craven Sony, because basically like Sony is trying to make a Spider-Man universe.
Yeah, all the Sony.
And they've only had success with Venom. They're going to do a Madam Web movie, which I think is probably going to tank too. Morbius already tanked. So hopefully Craven will tank and Amy Pascal will lose her job.
Yeah.
And then Spider-Man will go back to Marvel. But it's funny. I think like Warner Brothers is like flirting with the idea of selling their DC properties because obviously Flash tanked, Blue Beetle's probably going to tank. I mean, Shazam already tanked this year, so they have like 3 consecutive DC flops. But do you really want DC going to Universal or Paramount?
No,
the guys behind Transformers,
Disney's buying DC
and Fast and Furious. I got it. Yeah, so I don't know.
I just want Peacemaker, but we have to wait for Peacemaker.
I mean, he's gonna be so busy. He might even because he's doing Superman right now. He's doing Superman Legacy. Yep. So he's not even working.
You haven't seen Peacemaker season 2 yet?
No, is this a joke? You're setting up a joke?
No, because it's starring John Cena, so maybe we haven't seen it yet. love memes.
Okay. Well, we're never gonna top that one. So that's our show. I'm for
the Zealot Podcast on Twitter, guys. Let us know what you think. I've been Major,
and I'm Robbie.
Matt.
All right, go get some lion's blood. See ya.
Go Power Rangers.